What did you boys make of the Jean Kleyn and Jamie Osborne incident? Obviously, Leo Cullenbridge afterwards was pretty pissed off and seemed to indicate he felt as though it may have been a red card or worthy of a red card. And I saw a lot of people then probably understandably feeling as though Kleyn was actually unfortunate to even be sin-binned for it. What did you think?
I thought it was a definite yellow. Could have been red. Personally feel red might have been harsh, to be honest. But I thought it was yellow. And yes, I have sympathy for Kleyn because I understand that he's jumping to block the ball. But I think there's a duty of care on the player in the air to make sure that they don't end up following through, because I don't think there's no change of movement from the kicker, so from Osborne. So I think it's yellow. I think it's yellow. I can see why, like, it has caused a lot of debate, and but for me it's definitely yellow. If it had been red, I could have understood that too. But and yes, I have sympathy. But I think for player safety point of view, there's an onus on the defender in the situation to not follow through on the kicker.
Does he follow through though, like Mer?
I actually spent quite a bit of time reviewing this morning, and I have to say I was impressed with how quickly Andrew Brace did it, because even after like repeated viewings, you're still in two minds about it. You can actually see how someone could argue that it's not even a penalty. I honestly can see that, because I genuinely think he's trying. It's really clumsy and really late, and
So sorry, Murray, could have cost you. I actually agree with you there, but this clumsiness and late is the problem.
I'm just going to let me finish my point. Yeah. I can actually see the exact opposite of that. I can see how it's a red card, and I can see why someone's angry, because he absolutely collides into Jamie Osborne's head. We do not want that in the game. The end point where I've ended up is yellow card in between those two. I think yellow card, it is a sanction. He spends 10 minutes off the pitch, and like, it's obviously a big disadvantage in the game. It also probably teaches Jean Kleyn that he has to be really careful in those instances. And I wouldn't have been outraged in any way if he red carded for it, because I think it looks really, really ugly. But I don't think he goes into that with a negative intent. And having looked back at it, I don't think he's even thinking, I'll try and block him now by jumping up and making it look like I'm in the air. And the way he brings his elbows down, I don't think he's ever, like, in that split second thinking, I'm going to get a good collision on him here. I actually think he's trying to brace to lessen that impact. However, it's really clumsy. It's really dangerous. It's probably on that reckless side of things. And therefore, I think it's worth penalising. And in this instance, with a yellow card, I think it was just about the right decision in my mind, while acknowledging others' views on it. I know they're very strong. I got an email from Connor C., one of our members, and he is absolutely adamant that it's a red card, that we don't want this in the game, that if it's a yellow card, you need to change laws so it doesn't happen again. But it doesn't really happen very often. The obvious example is CJ Sander. That's 2016. Like, that's many years ago. And that was a little different. I actually thought he's closer to Pat Lambie in that instance, and he plows right through him. Like, it's trajectory through the kicker. It's a slightly different instance here. So for me, yellow is just about right, but I could have seen it going either way.
Yeah, it's one of those imperfect situations that happens on a rugby field every few years. And we've spent about 5 minutes trashing it out here, Birch. Andrew Brace even didn't. Like, he got to its decision pretty well, Mark. Sorry, you come in there.
He makes a decision quick, and then I think Maris Yonker was the TMO. He then decides to replay another angle of it and shows the elbow contact again, and it probably didn't help the reaction to it, because Brace just wants a quick decision. And in fairness, with the other yellow card, it was a real quick decision on that as well, which again I agreed with. I thought that was the yellow. It was like really sloppy from Keenan Knox. It was the forearm rather than a shoulder. And, it wasn't really high impact. You never want to see someone's head getting hit. And it was, as I say, sloppy. But again, we have to remember that yellow card is a punishment in the game. And not everything is a red card. We've kind of got to that viewpoint, which in many ways is healthy, because, as we've said before, all of us on the outside of the game are really, I suppose, protective against instances like this where someone's head is getting hit. We just don't want to see that at all. But unfortunately, rugby is a game where that does sometimes happen.